Welcome back to the Happy Hour, presented by Comcast Business. Telly's taking a segment off. Marie and I are joined by our legal expert, Steve Moskowitz, who normally comes in on Thursday, but a little busy yesterday with the NFL draft, so he's good enough to make it here on a Friday. And it's good timing because yesterday the Raiders, with their first overall pick, did take Garyon Conley, a young defensive back from Ohio State. And that was kind of the talking point of the whole day of the draft. This young man was accused of raping a woman. The accusation came on Tuesday. The event went back to a Cleveland hotel room on April the 9th. He's not been arrested. He's not been formally charged, but it was out there. So the agent for Conley requested a polygraph be performed just to prove to some people that he is telling the truth and what he's saying, that he didn't do anything wrong, is out there. Now, if one of the teams, the Baltimore Ravens, apparently took the results of the polygraph, but they're not the ones that asked for the polygraph. First of all, is that allowed? If one of the teams said, why don't you have Conley take a polygraph to prove to us that he's telling the truth here? Can a football team ask a private citizen to take a polygraph, or is that a violation of the law?
Anybody can ask anybody to voluntarily do something. As you know, it's not admissible in court, but a lot of people and agencies do place a lot of stock in it. So the bottom line is, if he said, okay, that's fine. Just like if you ask him and he said, okay, that'll be fine.
The concept, though, that before drafts there are a lot of things thrown out, largely negative, about players from people not in the industry. For instance,
sure.
Dalvin Cook.
Oh, yes.
Who has not yet been drafted, as we're talking now, was expected to be a high first-round pick, or middle to high first-round pick. But apparently, a runner for an agent has allegedly been putting out a lot of stuff about him, like shows up late for workouts, has alcohol in his breath, has bad companions, yada, yada, yada.
Trying to smear him.
Right, basically trying to smear him for, I'm not sure what nefarious reason, but it's clear that it's something. Is the league at all liable for that? Because the atmosphere is, I mean, this is not the first time it's happened to a player. It happens again and again. Is the league either a sensible defendant or a sensible plaintiff to try to stop this from going on?
I'd be more in the plaintiff, because they don't have any control over it. Somebody is trying to smear them for some reason. And what you have to take a look at is who's doing it and who has control over them.
Getting back to Conley, so how is this going to play out over time? He's going to apparently go back to Cleveland and talk to the Cleveland PD and plead his case. But if charges are pressed, just from a time consumption standpoint, what are we looking for from this young man as he looks to, move from college football to the busy world of the NFL?
Now, of course, we all know that an allegation of rape is very sensitive, but both parties have rights. And one of the problems is that the young lady refused to take the rape kit test. So that's a real problem, because the prosecutor needs evidence. And you take a look at other things. For example, there's no allegation that she was dragged into the room. In fact, she went into the room to supposedly watch a sex act. So she wasn't on her way to church when she was grabbed by somebody out of the bushes. Again,
but that doesn't give the man right to rape her.
Absolutely not. And actually, in the jurisdiction, if she consented and in the middle of the act she said no, he would have to immediately stop. Yeah, yes, that's the law. If she said no in the middle of the act, he would immediately have to stop, and if he didn't, it would be a rape at that point. Also, there have been cases where there's some trick where a gentleman will try to get the condom removed while he's in the middle of the act. That can be held as a rape in some jurisdictions. So it's a very sensitive area, but again, prosecutors need evidence, and there's a real problem from a prosecutor's viewpoint when she said, no, that's below my dignity, I won't take the test. Where's the evidence? And you have witnesses that said nothing happened. On the other hand, there are his friends.
There's a lot more to go into, but we're
running. Just real quickly, a polygraph exam, that is not 100% foolproof, right?
Absolutely not. There's a lot of proof that they can be manipulated on both sides, by the examiner if he thinks somebody is guilty, or by someone skillful to beat the test. That's why it's inadmissible in court. It's not reliable enough.
Steve Moskowitz, we will see you next week. Thank you,
It's always a pleasure.
Have a good weekend.
The NFL draft is literal.
It'll never end.
Yeah. It only gets smarmier.